Well, hello everybody. This is Paul Abernathy here with Master The NEC, and guess what? You made it. You're all the way to part 7. So you've been through part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now you're at part 7, and we're going to talk about the Hydromassage Bathtubs. Got one in my house. You probably got one too. And it has the jets on it. You drain the water after every use, and there's no heater in it. You use the hot water that comes from the hot water system in your house, whether it's tankless or a water heater or whatever you got. It's a bathtub. So the clearances for luminaires and everything else, treat it like a bathtub. So you got the requirements in 410 for that type of thing. So it's a bathtub. All right, but there are some nuances that we have to be aware of here in part 7 of Article 680, and we're going to talk about those today. Again, before I get into that, again, my name is Paul Abernathy. I do serve on Code Making Panel 17 as well as Code Making Panel 5 for the National Electrical Code, NFPA 70. And I also am the Codes and Standards Manager here at Encore Wire Corporation, so I oversee the Codes and Standards Division. But you're free to call me anytime. You've watched this series, you've earned the right to call. Anytime you want to call me, and if you're an inspector and you're an InterNACHI inspector, then you know my number. Feel free to give me a call. Since this is public, I'm obviously not sharing my number here, but if you know where to find my number, then you know how to give me a call. Okay. But you can also email us at info@masterthenec.com, .net, and .org. Okay? That's our websites. But if you, I guess I should say this, that's our websites, .com, .net, .org for the Master The NEC. If you want to email me, it's info@masterthenec.com. So only the .com is for use in an email. I kind of filter it down to that so I don't get emails from all of these domains. Also, we have a message board that you can join in by going to the .com or .net or whatever whatever website of ours you want. You can click through and get to our message board where you can ask questions, join in, chat, keep it clean, and it's kind of not moderated that much, so it's new, so you can go there and post, but you will get your questions answered. Again, keep it clean, keep it directed towards topic. Follow us on Twitter at Master The NEC. Follow us on Facebook as well. I don't really do links in the bottom for you to do that. I do so many videos and so many series, whether it's a podcast for audio or video, so I really don't get into that. It's not about the number of followers. You don't have to follow me to watch me do that type of thing. So hopefully you've stuck through us. We did a kind of a little recap here because this one's going to be a very short video. So we kind of recapped. We did part 1, which dealt with the general requirements. We did part 2, which is permanently installed swimming pools. We did part 3, which is storable. We did part 4, which dealt with hot tubs and spas. Okay, we deal part 5, which was fountains. Then we deal in part 6, which is therapeutic pools and tubs. And then we're here at Hydromassage Bathtubs. So we've kind of run the gamut. We're all the way up to part 7, and we're going to run through this one. Okay. So hopefully we can answer your questions here. Again, you know where to email us and know where to find us, and hopefully you've got something out of this series. Okay. And if you stuck through and watched all 7 parts, you know more than you probably want to know about Article 680. Trust me. But again, got any questions, just email us. Let us know. All right? So let's go on and get started into it. Here we're dealing with Hydromassage Bathtubs. Now we have a .70, .71, 72, 73, 74. General, we're dealing with protection. That's going to deal with our GFCI aspect. Other electrical equipment that's associated, we're going to deal with that. Accessibility, and we're going to deal with bonding. And again, most people get confused with the bonding one, so we're going to try to clarify that a little bit for you. All right, first thing is we want to know what a hydromassage bathtub is. Well, we know it is a bathtub. It is a permanently installed bathtub equipped with a recirculating piping system, pump, and associated equipment. It is designed so it can accept, circulate, and discharge water upon each use. Unlike a hot tub or spa, which you add chemicals, you have sanitation components that you're going to actually clean it, and the water stays in there for months on end. Here you're going to drain it after every use. So for all intents and purposes, we have some unique requirements here, but it is a bathtub. Now, the general rule here, hydromassage bathtubs as defined in 680.2 shall comply with Part 7 of this article. Note here that it says they shall not be required to comply with other parts of this article. Okay? They're only here to comply with Part 7. Okay? A lot of people want to bring other parts within 680 into the picture, but it's just to remind you that nope, we're dealing with Part 7. We're dealing with a bathtub that has some unique characteristics, but it is totally part of this aspect of Part 7 that we're dealing with. And here you go. So this one's permanently installed, kind of a weird looking one, but normally the one like I have is just normal round oval with the jets and everything. But there you go, got some nice headrests on it, got some rails and all this type of thing. The water usually comes in through the faucet, and it's the hot water from the water heater, and then you got your blowers, your jets that blow the water around and everything like that. Typically no heaters installed in these. Again, it's just a bathtub. All right, what about other electrical equipment? We're talking about luminaires, switches, receptacles, or other electrical equipment located in the same room. Now, and it's not directly associated with the hydromassage bathtub, but it is in the same room, and typically, in the bathroom. Shall be installed in accordance with the requirements of Chapter 1 through 4. So you've got all those general requirements that have to be met. Okay, for that other equipment, you've got other requirements. So let's talk about that for a second. And let me bring you back so that we can kind of talk about it. All right, so when you say other requirements, remember we have a bathtub, and if we're in a bathroom, for example, we have restrictions for pendants and chain type of luminaires and paddle fans and whatnot in this area, 3 feet and 8 foot around this pool or a shower area. That's still going to apply to the luminaires that are here. So that's still going to apply. So all those requirements that are found, say, in 410, they're part of Chapter 4, they're going to apply. The receptacles that are in there, that are near there in 210 or Chapter 2 for the GFCI protection is in there. That's all going to apply. So all the other equipment that's there is going to have its own requirements in Chapters 1 through 4. This is unique in Chapter 6 where it's applying, and in Part 7 specifically for the hydromassage bathtub. That's what we're talking about. So all of the other equipment that might be located there, that has its other requirements that can be laid out in Chapters 1 through 4. And then, of course, you've got what's required here. Okay, so keeping those things separated. It's just important to remember that. All right, accessibility. Hydromassage bathtubs, electrical equipment shall be accessible without damaging the building structure or building finish. So I have to have access, and I can't enclose it underneath this hydromassage bathtub and not have the ability to get to it. In other words, if I have to remove something of the building structure or something in the building's finish, then that's not good, and it doesn't meet the accessibility requirement for that. Okay, so we want to make sure that we have this accessibility. All right. Now, part of that accessibility says, look, where the hydromassage bathtub is a cord and plug connected unit, with the supply receptacle accessible only through a service access opening. Now, this receptacle, of course, you could hardwire it. You still have to have access to the pumps and whatnot like that. But if I'm going to actually use a cord and plug, and I'm going to put up a receptacle under there in this access to get there, I have to meet some requirements here. Now, that service opening, the receptacle shall be installed so that the face is within direct view and not more than 1 foot of the opening. Okay, so I got to be able to see it. I got to directly be able to see the face of this receptacle, and I have to make sure that it is not more than 1 foot back underneath the access area up under the hydromassage bathtub. Okay, so those are pretty simple things to meet. Although I do see a lot of applications where the receptacle is not viewable directly to the face, and I've seen many of them that are back and more than 1 foot back into the opening. Okay, so we're definitely going to call those things out. All right, what about bonding? Now, here's the part that's going to take us, because this is a short one here. The yellow here was added in the 2014 code to kind of add some clarity to what we're talking about. All right, let's look at this and let's break it down. Both the metal piping system and grounded metal parts in contact with the circulating water. Notice this is not an or here, so it's talking about both. You might have this one, you might have this one, you might have both, you might have only this one, you might have only this one. Okay, it's both aspects here. It's in contact with the circulating water shall be bonded together, so we're going to tie them together using a solid copper bonding jumper, insulated, covered, or bare, not smaller than 8 AWG. Now, keep it in mind that if I don't have any metal piping, that this is not relevant. Okay? If I don't have any grounded metal parts and I don't have any metal piping system, then it's irrelevant. Okay? Now, it says the bonding jumper shall be connected to the terminal on the circulating pump motor that is intended for this purpose. The bonding jumper shall not be required to be connected to a double insulated circulated pump motor. Okay, so I got to have this bonding jumper if I had this metal piping system, or I could have the grounded metal parts, or maybe I just had the metal piping system that is in contact with the circulating water. If I have that aspect, okay, or I have some grounded metal parts, then I'm going to have this bonding jumper that's going to come over to this pump motor. Now, if this is a double insulated pump motor, then I don't have to make that connection to that double insulated circulating pump motor. However, we have to go on and understand this. The 8 AWG or larger copper bonding jumper shall be required for equipotential bonding in the area of the hydromassage bathtub and shall not be required to be extended or attached to any remote panel board, service equipment, or any electrode. Okay, so it's not required, it shall not be required to do it, so it really stays there. Okay, we're not running something all the way back to the service panel. This is kind of a localized equipotential grid, if you will. It stays at the hydromassage bathtub. Okay, now here's one other aspect you have to be aware of. Now, the 8 AWG or larger solid copper bonding jumper, where it's applicable, okay, provided that everything is not plastic, shall be long enough to terminate on a replacement non-double insulated pump motor and shall be terminated to the equipment grounding conductor of the branch circuit of the motor when a double insulated circulating pump motor is used. Okay, so when I have this connection from, let's go back, from this metal parts here that are in contact with circulating water, and I run it down to this non-double insulated pump motor, I make that connection. If it is a double insulated, I don't make that connection. I have to make sure that it's long enough that if there is a replacement that happens to be double insulated, and then they remove that double insulated away, okay, and now they add a double insulated, what am I going to do with it? Well, what do you do with it? Well, at this point, you're going to terminate it when a double insulated pump is used. You're actually going to make the connection to the equipment grounding conductor of the branch circuit, and that should be in the junction box that's there. If it's a cord and plug, that it's there, and you have to make that connection. All right, and a lot of times people argue, how do you do that? If there's a junction box there and you're making that hardwired connection, well, or if you're using a cord and plug to receptacle, well, I'm hoping that you're using a box that's got more than one opening in it. Most nail-up boxes are going to have at least 4 openings in it. Most 4-inch square boxes are going to have multiple openings in it. So you're going to have more than enough ways to make that connection to that equipment grounding conductor. Now, what happens is when they don't have a double insulated pump, then you disconnect that connection to the equipment grounding conductor and you do what you're supposed to do. You take it over to the non-double insulated pump motor. Okay? So, again, all of this hinges on the fact that you have some of these metal parts or this metal that is in contact with the circulating water. Okay? That has to be all bonded together. If everything is plastic, then you do absolutely nothing with it. Okay? Now that takes us to the end, so let me bring it back to me and do my little thank yous for watching us. All right, again, so if I'm dealing with the bonding and the piping and circulating is all plastic, the piping that's coming to it is all plastic, everything is plastic, then there's nothing to bond. If I have these components that have to be bonded together, this tells you how you do it. And if you have those metal parts and you have a pump that's double insulated, well, you got to make sure that you have an 8 gauge that's long enough to get to that pump. But if it is double insulated, then what do you do with it? Well, you're going to connect it to the equipment grounding conductor, however means possible, and you do that under there. And then at which point that double insulated pump is ever replaced, you take the connection, and now you have it. It's long enough, and now you make the connection to the non-double insulated terminal pump, and there's a terminal that's provided for that. So hopefully that explains how you do that. All right? Well, you made it. We went all the way from part 1 to part 7. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. If I did bring up more questions in your mind, then please, by all means, give me an opportunity to respond and correct it. And if you're just a troll that came to watch the 7-part series to be negative, get a life, okay? We all give of our free time in order to try to learn things, just trying to help people out. I'm not doing it for monetary reasons. I'm doing it because I like to do it. I like to teach people the National Electrical Code. Not everybody is intelligent as you people are on some of those forums that like to badmouth people. Look, sometimes we just are here to help people. So hopefully I helped you. If you're an apprentice and you're coming up into the code and you're starting to mess with pools and spas and hot tubs and fountains, this is giving you a little insight into it. Nothing's going to take the place of taking a good code class. Nothing's going to take the place of really getting yourself the latest edition of the National Electrical Code. Support the NFPA. Purchase your code books from the NFPA. Whether it's electronic PDF version like I use, or you get the actual hard copy. You even have handbooks which are just an interpretation, no different than mine would be. So they're all available for purchase. Hopefully that you do that. And hopefully you've learned something here in this series. And look for other series. We're going to do one coming up on the significant changes from the 2014 to the 2017 National Electrical Code, because there's been quite a few important changes, not only in the wire and cable industry, but in a lot of aspects within the industry. Photovoltaics have changed. We have 5 new articles, I believe, that are being incorporated into the 2017 National Electrical Code. So we're going to learn all those things. So hopefully you subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you know when those get published that they're available for you to go watch. Visit our website again, masterthenec.com, .net, or .org. Join our message board. Visit our website. Email us at info@masterthenec.com. Go to Twitter @masterthenec. Go to our Facebook page. Just search for Master The NEC on your Facebook page. Listen to our podcast, the radio shows, in the car, wherever you're at. Suggest future podcasts. Go on and email me with those. So hopefully you got something out of it. Again, thanks for watching. It's been quite a few hours putting together this series. Again, I couldn't cover every nuance, and some things I kind of covered the top of it, and some things I went in real depth. So hopefully you learned something. And thanks again for watching. God bless. Until next time, peace out.